Hey everyone, I'm your host, Shannon Fox, and you're watching Foxy TV. Thanks so much for tuning in, where today we're celebrating Wellness Wednesday. This week on Foxy TV is Health and Wellness Week, where we discuss the importance of living a healthy lifestyle and just surrounding yourself with positive vibes that are good for the mind, body, and soul. Today's Girl Chat has an emphasis on mental health awareness. My special guest today sparkles on the outside, shines on the inside, is the Queen of Queens, is my sister, is a national title holder, and is a huge advocate of mental health awareness and suicide prevention. She is the reigning Mrs. US America International 2018, Dawnel DeRubeis, and I'm so excited she's here today. So welcome today, sis.
Thank you. Thank you. I am so excited to be here, and what a great topic. Thank you so much for bringing me in, sharing hopefully a little bit of my knowledge and experience. This is awesome.
Yes,
Thank
absolutely.
you.
I'm so excited you're here. So I want to start by asking you to tell us about what your platform is. I know what it is, but share with viewers what your platform is and maybe like what charity or organization you support.
Absolutely. Thank you. So I actually found an organization about 4 years ago when I was actually struggling myself in a very dark place, and I was doing a lot of research to figure out my family history and kind of what was affecting me. And I stumbled across this amazing organization, the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, AFSP. And they are the leading nonprofit organization that supports research, education, and advocacy for mental health as a whole, focused, of course, on suicide prevention. So I have the opportunity to volunteer with them a lot, and I love it. And I'm also program coordinator for one of their programs for education.
Okay, that's awesome. So, and I was actually going to ask you, like, what made you choose this platform and why is it so important to you?
Thank you. It's interesting. I find in the world of pageantry that a lot of the title holders and just girls competing in general, they flock to something that speaks to their heart. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it is something that you're just kind of born and raised with, and that's just, the emphasis of your life. Mine, I kind of stumbled across accidentally, and it's given me my life purpose. So I'm very grateful and incredibly blessed. There is a history of mental illness in my family, and in my quest to understand what that history was and how it affected me and how it could affect my children and so on down the line, I discovered that I am somebody who has to fight and live with depression and anxiety on a daily basis. It's a personal struggle, so this platform, while it is a platform when it comes to the world of pageantry, it really is my life passion and my heart.
Yeah. And I think, you touched on anxiety and depression. I think that is so common among a lot of people. So it's like people watching, if you feel like that's something you suffer from, don't feel like you're alone, because I don't know all the statistics, but I know the number just in our country is pretty high with that.
Yeah, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but the reality is mental illness affects 1 in 5 people. Mm-hmm. And if you think about that one person, how many people do their lives touch? So really everybody across our nation and even worldwide is affected in some capacity with mental health. Mm-hmm. And so when we bring education and advocacy and people that are willing to speak up and share that you're not alone, that this is an illness you cannot control, just like you cannot control any other illness that you might be faced with, but you can get to the other side. There is hope, there is light at the end of the tunnel, as they say, and it's learning what those coping strategies are for you, for your family, and then being a voice and making sure that everybody around you knows that they're not alone if they may be struggling.
Yeah.
There's so many resources available. I think that's what I've been amazed with in my quest, is how many organizations and resources are available to people. There's the suicide prevention hotline that's available 24/7, 365 days a week. There's tons of support groups throughout various cities with Dee Dee Hirsch. There's the AFSP, which is the organization I work with, Mental Health America. The list goes on. And so that's really what I want people to know, is that they're not alone. There is hope and a lot of resources available. Use them.
Yeah. I agree, and I think it's like, our society we're all about the World Wide Web, so like she said, you guys, it's all about resources, and we're on our phones and computers 24/7, so there's always an opportunity to be able to find the right resources to help you. Okay, so one of the things that I love about you is you're so positive and you just have such a beautiful spirit to you. And I know your nickname is the Quote Lady because you're always self-proclaimed. Well, I'm calling you that. Okay. So, some of the quotes that you post every day, it gets me through my day. So I just want you to know that, it's really powerful stuff and it's real life stuff. So I want to ask you, for you personally, what's a mantra that you live by, or maybe some words of affirmation that you tell yourself when you're having maybe a difficult day?
You're making me pin it down to one. I'm going to pick it up here. So, I guess my life motto was actually a quote that was given to me by my amazing stepfather, one of his family members, so it got passed down to me, and it's a quote that says, "May my past be envious of my future." And so it's that every day I'm going to push a little bit harder to make sure that the day before is jealous of the next day, and so on and so forth. So that is sort of my life motto, but when it comes to the quotes, and yes, I am a self-proclaimed quote lady, it's actually one of my coping strategies. So a lot of it is, how do I wake up in the morning and feel? And then throughout the day, what are some events that may take place that will either throw me off my path, and so I need some reassurance that I'm headed in the right direction, that I'm not alone, and that I'm strong enough to fight through whatever life throws my way. It could be something as silly as, I'll share what happened this morning and my earring fell into my coffee. I mean, it could be traffic on the freeway, it could be anything. And so for me, as I'm researching or looking on whatever, search mechanism, different quotes, it's really to reassure myself that I am strong and that I will get through whatever that challenge may be.
Yeah, I like that. And those quotes, you never know who you're touching and helping because, social media, you can reach so many different people. I mean, Instagram, Facebook, public pages. So when you're posting, it's like you have no idea who's seeing what you post. But it's a good thing because you have no idea, the number of lives that you can be affecting in a good way.
Right.
Yeah. So, okay, how long have you been active in pageantry now? And also, how did you know that pageantry was your calling?
Throwing me some tough ones. I feel like this is so crooked. So I'm going to openly admit on camera now, I've been in the amazing world of pageantry for 24 years.
Wow.
Yes, I got my start actually when I was only 14, and my family and I had moved to a new town. I knew absolutely nobody, but I'm a social butterfly, and my mom knew that and found an article in the newspaper that said they were holding their first ever Miss Teen pageant, and she signed me up and then told me after. And it's so, life is amazing and it works in the most mysterious ways. I was blessed enough to win that title, and I spent my whole year as a 14-year-old freshman in high school volunteering in my community, doing hundreds of hours, and I was immediately hooked, and a fire was lit in my heart for volunteerism, and this just happens to be a platform for me to be able to do that. And I call myself sort of obsessed with pageantry, but it's just opened so many doors. I've met amazing women along the way, great connections, and like I said, this is my choice, my a vehicle for me to have a voice.
I love that. And 24 years is a true commitment, which that's pretty serious, so I love that. So with being involved in pageants for so long, what would you say is maybe the most difficult thing about being in pageants now as a married woman?
I don't think there's actually any more of a challenge necessarily, but there are a lot more things that I have to consider. As a 14-year-old, it was me and myself and as I would take on events, the only real challenge was who was going to drive me and pick me up. Now it's, is this going to interfere with school activities or just time with my family? So it's more of a balancing act, if anything. But I think, and my hope, is that I'm showing my kids that you can do it all.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm extremely organized, so that helps. But you can do it all, and I don't want anybody to ever feel like they have to give up something to take on something else. If they feel in their daily routine that they can take it all on, then go for it.
Yes, yes, I love that. See, if I was younger, I'd say you were my mom. No, but I think when I hear people say, oh, just pick one thing and focus on that. And it's like, I'm kind of more like you. I'm like, spread your wings and fly. If you want to dance, act, and sing and do all that, do all of it. Don't feel like you have to limit yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what would you say, in your opinion, is like maybe the biggest misconception with pageantry or women in pageants?
Goodness. I don't know that I've ever really run into any major issues when it comes to pageantry, but I think the biggest misconception, and this has been for years and years and years, is that that they're not intelligent, that they don't have a passion, or that they don't have direction, that they're just in this for the beauty side of it. And that is definitely not the case. For as long as I can remember watching pageants, even before I competed, and even after, how many title holders that I related to in some fashion because they had a voice and they spoke up and shared their story, and the empowerment that put within myself, and the hope is with anybody's, that they run across, anybody within their year that they run across. So, I think it's just understanding that we are powerful people, and we have goals and aspirations, and we're strong and beautiful at the same time. So kind of the whole package, which I think is pretty special.
I like that. I agree. And I think, I think there's so many misconceptions, but I think there's real sisterhood there. And I think people don't see that. They just see like, oh, the women are catty, or, oh, they're fake. But you form real friendships and real long-term sisterhood. So that's what I like about it. So as we're wrapping up Health and Wellness Week, I wanted to ask you, what is like maybe 3 habits that you would suggest to viewers to do that they can live a healthy life this year in 2018?
I think it's important to remember that everybody struggles differently. Everybody is going to have a different coping strategy. This thing is totally crooked. I apologize, folks. It's just not wanting to stay on today. I'll share what works for me. And it's not necessarily that this is going to work for everybody, but as I do educate in high schools and junior highs even, it's a rule of thumb, I think, for anybody within their daily routine, that these 3 things need to be in place. What's really interesting is, for me, it's what balances me. It helps me through my day, ensure that I'm not going to have a spell of depression or anxiety. So as we all know, the first and biggest thing for me is that I have to get sleep. And I know that sounds like, of course, everybody does. But you have no idea when you get not enough sleep, what happens to your brain chemical balance. So sleep is one of them, diet is another, and that's not always easy, of course. I can definitely enjoy myself a bag of chips from now and again, and then the third thing is exercise. So the 3 things that our bodies need anyway are making such a difference in my chemical balance, and so I'm mentally healthy and physically healthy without any extras. It's just with the 3 basic needs that I think everybody needs in their life.
Yeah, I agree. I would say the same thing, especially with sleep, because I can't function without sleep.
Yes.
So just my last question for you. For women, married or single, that are thinking about going into pageantry, what's some words of wisdom or advice you would give them?
Yeah. Thank you. That's a really good question. This is for anybody, whether you've competed before or this is your first time. I think it's really important to understand what your morals and values are and what your goals will be as a title holder, and then to align yourself with a system that speaks to those goals and will help support that and help drive that as a title holder. And there are so many different pageant systems out there, new ones being created all the time, and so do your research. I think everything in life is do your research, but do your research and really understand what is their motto, what is their director all about, and what is your year going to look like should you become their title holder.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. And okay, so I lied. I have one more question. Because see, I could just go on and on. So for, upcoming plans for 2018. what plans do you have? Are you traveling? What's coming up next for you? What can we expect to see next?
Yes, thank you. I need my calendar for this. My crown. It just doesn't want to stay on today. It's one of those days, and that's okay. It'll shine from within, right? Oh my goodness. So I am, like I said in throughout the questioning, my main focus is educating really our youth on mental health, on understanding the different effects of life and what that can have on them on a mental capacity, giving them coping strategies, and most importantly, letting them know that they're not alone and there's nothing wrong with them. So I have additional education sessions set up with a variety of districts throughout the state of California. I actually will be meeting on a national level with the AFSP. So plans this year are to grow and to take my voice beyond the state of California and hopefully on a national basis. So stay tuned on my social media. I try and post as much as I can in my busy life of things that are coming up or that I'm currently doing. So please take a look, and hopefully you will see me traveling the states.
Yes, we're gonna see you everywhere.
Yes.
And then just real quick, just tell us your social media. How can people follow your journey? And then if someone watching is interested in booking you for an appearance or an event, how can they contact you or find you? Oh, and then also if you can, just give information about the social media for your platform or like the hotlines and that stuff.
Awesome, yes. So for me personally, I am on Facebook with my title as Mrs. US America International 2018. And I am also on Instagram as Queen DeRubeis, which is my last name, DeRubeis. So those are two ways to follow me. I try and post events, again, that are upcoming or events that I'm in the process of participating in. And then as far as the various organizations, I can name a few. Take a look at afsp.org. They are a phenomenal organization, like I said, that supports research, advocacy, and education. They have a variety of information, questions to ask your friends if you feel that they could be struggling, some coping strategies, and some different information about the project that they're working on. The Suicide Prevention Hotline, again, that's available 24/7, 365 days a year. There's also texting available. For our youth, there's an amazing organization called teenline.org where you're actually connected with a peer via text, email, or by phone. So again, the resources are just long listed. Reach out to me through social media if you have any questions about my platform, about these organizations, or if there's an event that you think I should attend, please definitely reach out to me.
Yes. Thank you so much for being here. And not only are you guys going to see her everywhere, but you're going to see her beautiful face all over. And I'm so excited she got a chance to be here. So that's all the time we have for Health and Wellness Week. But I'm hoping that you guys have felt inspired today by Dawnel DeRubeis, Mrs. US America International 2018. She's doing amazing things and is a huge advocate of mental health awareness and suicide prevention. So if you guys know anyone that might be struggling, or if you're watching and you're struggling yourself, feel free to follow her journey, reach out to her, contact her, talk to her, and also some of the other social media that she listed. And stay tuned for our next episode we have for Health and Wellness Week, which will be Fitness Friday. And you guys know I will love you forever if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is where you can catch our latest uploads and find new episodes. And you can also find Foxy TV on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. So be sure you follow us, support, and I will see you guys again soon. Thanks for watching. I'm your host, Shannon Fox, and you're watching Foxy TV.